Before we do get started with today's video, I need to correct myself from the previous review. I mentioned in the artillery strike review that the elite health scales up to 1.5 million in Outbreak. Turns out I was wrong. The elite health scales up to 1.5 million in not only Outbreak, but also Onslaught and the round-based maps. I apologize for that slight error and thought I'd let you guys know for future reference. So with that out of the way, welcome to the cruise missile. Hey guys, Mr. L here, and welcome to my review of the cruise missile in Cold War Zombies. Available in both Outbreak and Round Base via either the mystery box or at the crafting table for 150 high-grade salvage. It can also be dropped by special and elite enemies in both Onslaught and Outbreak, with the obvious exception of Onslaught Containment. The cruise missile is used by pressing left on a D-pad. Once pressed, you'll open up a mini laptop and have full control to a trio of missiles, which you'll be able to see from a bird's eye view on where the zombies are on the map. The cruise missile has two missiles with a heat signature that will lock on to any zombie it sees, and the final missile that can be controlled and guided by you to make the final impact of the last missile. It's a very straightforward score streak, and one that isn't specific or confusing to explain like the napalm strike.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
The cruise missile's lock-on feature is also capable of locking on to the Omega Chopper in Outbreak. If you happen to run into one in the Outbreak zone that's either on the ground or in the air flying away, the cruise missile will deal either a lot of damage to the chopper or it will flat out destroy it with its missiles. So if you love that extra high tier salvage from the Omega Chopper, the cruise missile will be your best friend. When it comes to the regular hordes of zombies, the cruise missile will flat out obliterate them. Seriously, it's so damn good, it's the #1 get out of jail free card if you ever get cornered by the zombies. All you have to do is just activate the cruise missile, and the trio of missiles will erase the zombies surrounding you. Not to mention, when using the cruise missile, all enemies on the field will not attack you. If that isn't a get out of jail free card, I don't know what is. Moving on from the zombies, just like the napalm and artillery strike, you can get a free cruise missile by the jungle defense area during an assault wave on Firebase Z. The cruise missile, when used during the assault wave, will be extremely helpful and wipe out any of the zombies that walked out of the Ethereum portals. There really isn't much else for me to say. It's pretty much great against the zombies across all modes. Just don't use it in some of the Onslaught maps or Forsaken, due to the indoor nature of those maps making it really difficult to kill the zombies because of the darn ceiling blocking the line of sight. With the basics of the cruise missile covered, let's take a look at how it will do against the special and elite enemies. Megaton. The impact of the cruise missile will not do enough damage to kill the Megaton or the Megaton bombers. You are far better off using bullet-based weapons to kill the Megaton rather than wasting 150 blue salvage. Mimics. Just like with the artillery strike and war machine, the mimics will barely get phased by the cruise missile. Just don't bother using it against this enemy. Manglers. The cruise missile will deal a good chunk of damage onto the Mangler, primarily due to the Mangler having good hitboxes for the cruise missiles to make an impact, so definitely use it on these guys. Orda. Using the cruise missile against Orda and Outbreak is pretty pointless. Because the Outbreak Orda has an extremely small hitbox, it makes it extremely hard to land the final cruise missile shot. Not to mention you'll have weapons like the DIE, Electro Bolt, and the Flamethrower at your disposal to use against the Outbreak Orda. However, when it comes to the Orda on Firebase Z, the cruise missile will make a dent in the Orda's health with the final missile. So if you're playing Firebase Z with friends and you just happen to get jungle defense during one of the assault waves, I highly recommend having one or two of your teammates using the cruise missile to make a dent in the Orda's health. So use it on the Orda on Firebase Z. The Krosny Soldat. Despite it not killing a Krosny Soldat with all three of its missiles, it will deal a good chunk of damage on the Krosny so that you can get a killing blow on him with one of your base weapons. However, if you are playing on Mauert or Toten, it will be very tough to figure out where he is if he's in a crowd of zombies while you're looking down on the map, with the black and white vision making it hard to distinguish the zombies and the Krosny. So use it at your own discretion. Tempest. Technically speaking, the cruise missile is great for eliminating the Tempi, but there's no practical reason to use it on them when you literally can use any of your guns against them, saving you 150 blue salvage. Just don't bother with it. Disciples. The cruise missile is capable of removing a good portion of the Disciples' health, but just like what I said about the Krosny Soldat, it will be really difficult to tell where they are in the cruise missile camera, so use it at your disposal. The Abomination.
Fuck this.
Overall, the cruise missile is a very dependable score streak. It'll kick ass against the zombies, and it's the best get out of jail free card to use if you get cornered by the zombies, outside of maybe the war machine. My only recommendation in regards to the special and elite enemies, if you're going to use it against those enemies, use a cruise missile on them when you're in a large crowd of zombies, just so you're not wasting the cruise missile on 2 or 4 enemies, because that's just a waste. I don't have much else to say about the cruise missile. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and join me next time where I'll be reviewing the Arc XD.